Welcome back, fellow armchair generals, to the Great War, as played on the Hearts of Iron 4 engine. Okay, I've sort of been thinking about this, and I know I just yesterday posted the last episode on this, but that sort of was waiting a bit, and I've sort of been a little bit waiting to see what to do with this series. Now, what do you do when you've defeated France and Russia in the Great War? And Britain is still sitting around with a pretty decent navy, and tried the invasion of Britain, and it didn't go so well. So, if you know your Sun Tzu, the indirect approach, I tried the direct approach. Put divisions on the British mainland. And that isn't going to work. We don't have, and I sent in a massive amount of my navy. We just don't, and maybe if I reorganized it and did it better, we might have had a better result. And we might. But if you understand Sun Tzu, and I'm not saying I have any perfect understanding of him at all. I'm not saying that in the slightest. But if you sort of understand Sun Tzu, you understand that the direct approach is often, and most often, not the best way, because that's, the most protected way. And what protects Britain, of course, really is its navy, especially in this pre-airborne invasion world. So, we still have a possibility of coming after these guys here, but to take out the Free French there. What we are going to look at doing is the indirect approach. We're going to continue our fight here, defeating these guys hopefully soon. Defeat these guys, 5 British divisions up here, which would be nice to get them down. But we have the British Raj to take out. Maybe even Australia and New Zealand. Don't know if we'll get that far. But with direct ownership here in Sri Lanka and Malaya and what is that? British Borneo, I guess is what it's called, as opposed to Indonesia, there. We have a bunch of divisions keeping the South Africans honest, if you will. We're also going to see about invading French Madagascar and possibly the Comoros. These are the Seychelles, right? Yeah, Seychelles. So we're going to continue the indirect approach with hopes of not getting America involved in the war directly and such. So there's much more action to come, and I've decided I want to sort of keep this series going with sort of what to do when you sort of achieved your goals, but that's not everything over yet. Well, these guys should come down into here. Again, I wish they had updated to the newer map, because that's ridiculous. But yes, we're going to do it, even though it's ridiculous. Ah, yes, we've taken out. Well, let's send some units over to Tunis. Not overstack, and then let's send over this way to just sort of occupy some of this. Now, this company. Some occupational divisions there. Help us hold down from partisan revolt. Okay, well. Let's see if we were to search and destroy there, and see if those guys will launch now. Yeah, control it enough. Maybe not. Oh, good, they're here now. Okay, well, here. Let's have Vorbeck plan a naval invasion from here to yeah, here. There we go. And let's bring our fleet, who is fighting the Japanese right now. Okay. Our destroyers against some of theirs. Oh, we got our battle cruisers. Quite honestly, I don't know much about. I mean, obviously I'm seeing those where you're dead, but in that one. We're cleaning their clock around. We've got a few more losses of destroyers, unfortunately. Oh, they brought in a bunch more cruisers. We've lost most of our light cruisers. Okay, I see. Hell yeah. They're retreating, I guess. And we've lost our escorts, which is not a good thing. At least not normally. We've got 4 to 2. Looks like they're going to take us down. 3 to 2. One of theirs is retreating, it looks like. Okay. One of our battle cruisers is retreating. Damaged. Oh, we've got some Turkish help. Yay! Pocket battleships. 2 of them. Even though the rest of ours are going. Aviation effort. Fine. This is too interesting. Thank you, Turks. Got there just a little earlier. We could have really cleaned their clocks. Okay. You guys. Come back to here. The Mongolian Empire has capitulated, so we lost 3 destroyers and 3 light cruisers. We took down 11 destroyers and 5 light cruisers. Obviously the Turks lost 1 too. Okay. ask the Netherlands for military access. Arno asks for this, so sure thing. He's Dutch. He wants. And we'll add this light cruiser to that group once they get back down here. We need to try to put that. Franz Joseph dies, and we have the Sturm Panzerwagen A7V. So, here we go, and it is. Pause. It didn't come up as designed by Opel, even though we had Opel by the time we were ending that as the designer. All right, well. We want to put you into production as soon as we can. And we may see about something like that in coming days. Soonish. But first, let's come over here and grab light machine guns. Now this looks like the show, and I one of the entry images shows some of the American, I think, in Belleau Wood fight in World War I, and they have picture, or in the picture is a drawing of the show, and the Americans definitely used the show, and they hated the show. The show has a very, very bad reputation in America. I know there's one person, well, Gun Jesus, if you watch his channel, Ian, Forgotten Weapons is the channel, but he's often known as Gun Jesus. He's a Francophile, at least when it comes to guns, trying to accommodate it. And so the artist drew these pictures, or this picture of, they're using American weapons, but but they have the French show, and because the Americans, at least for the most part, were banned from using the BAR because they didn't want the Germans to know about it or get their hands on it, and so they right here, the BAR, they kept the BAR out, sort of planning on for the next year's big offensive. They also did that with the Parson device, which I don't know if we have a version of that here. What that is, it's a sub-caliber device. Basically, it still shoots 30 caliber, but sort of like the 30 caliber carbine round that you were to be able to hit. You hit the release button, you pull the bolt out of the rifle, you stick in this other thing, and then you into it, and it converts it into a semi-automatic pistol calibered rifle. That was also a big, super top secret thing that they didn't want to, and they had them in Europe. They didn't want the Germans to know about them until they could issue them in large numbers and then overwhelm the Germans. Now, of course, Germany surrendered before either the BAR got in use in any widespread. I'm not saying it was zero used, but it was units that had trained on the BAR in America. Once they got to France, had them yanked away from them and give them the show. And they hated the show, especially after having the BAR. And the Parson device, as the idea of really switching back and forth between full calibered bolt action and going to a semi-auto thing is sort of stupid and ridiculous. But having a decent semi-automatic, even if it's a carbine caliber thing, that's a good idea. So it's sort of awkward and odd, swapping back and forth and sort of silly. But just the idea of having a semi-automatic rifle would have been, or carbine, since it's often close combat, would have been a very good option. That would have been a very good option. Just looking at this, they have the Gewehr 98, and they have a picture of an earlier rifle. That's not the Gewehr 98. The Gewehr 98 looks like this. That's the Carabiner 98. K for short. What's the difference? Okay. Well, so get back to that. So, but the picture that they have them with the show has this sort of, rounded banana magazine because of the 8mm Lebel rounds were heavily rimmed like the 303 British rounds. But as Gun Jesus actually has recently bought and had a video of test firing, an the show shows were given to American troops. They had been converted, I think all of them were given to the American troops. A lot of them were older guns, so they've been used a lot. It's part of the problem. But they had also been converted to 30-06. I think mostly with just changing sort of the barrel and the chambering without necessarily changing the spring tensions and anything else. So something that might work well, calibrated, if you will, for the 8mm Lebel. Just the mere fact that you have you drop in a American 30-06 and maybe change the bolt out or the bolt face, or I don't know exactly how the show bolt and face and all work together, but so that it can grab the different cartridge. Change that out, but without changing some of the other elements out, you can have a really, really bad weapon that is almost a single shot, or a cock each time to fire kind of weapon. But the American ones had a straight down magazine, because much similar to the BAR's magazine, because they didn't wasn't curved banana magazine style on that. So a lot of artists are using the French show as the weapon now. What's the difference? Because I've been watching Sea and Arsenal. It's another channel that deals with World War I weapons. Their mission is to deal with every World War I small arms used. That's their goal, and then go on to other periods. But the difference between a rifle and a carbine: rifle is used by infantry, carbine is used by cavalry. Even if it's the same gun, the exact same gun. And in talking about a carabiner 88 or one of the other earlier ones, which that's really actually more of a, that's again, I have to wonder about these mod makers at times. Let's see, what's this called? Great War. So yes, Great War. So they know German weapon. They picture a Gewehr 88 here with its extended box magazine out, as opposed to the Gewehr 98, which looks exactly the same as a carabiner 98. Now, a carabiner, because it's a carbine, generally speaking, that they had a I don't know if you can sort of a hole through here that you would put the sling through, so that you would have, when you slung it, this bolt would be sticking out away from the back of the guy who had it strapped across his back while riding a horse. But an earlier version, I think it's the Gewehr 88, they had a short rifled version of it and a carbine version of it. The only difference was a little metal piece sticking out here for the rifle that allowed you to sort of stack them, make a teepee. That's what when you stack a rifle, you're taking normally 3 or more rifles and you're interlocking them so that they don't. So that the only part is the butt is touching the ground. It's called stacking arms. The carbines versions didn't have the stacking rod that sort of goes out from it, but so it's just sort of a name. Cavalry generally had carbines, Army had rifles, and sometimes it was, Gewehr 88K or something, I don't know, for short, Kurtz short. So, but that is definitely in the style, at least, of Gewehr 88, with its extended, or it's just straight box magazine instead of staggered box magazine. So that would have been done up, and the Germans really didn't use many Madsens. I think they bought some, but didn't really use it. Their primary light machine gun was the MG08, Stroke, or slash or backslash, forget which one that would be, 15, which was designed in adopted in 1915, and it's a rework of the MG08. So I don't know what the hell these are all supposed to represent, but they would be more up there. Is what the Germans used as a light machine gun. So yeah, I have to wonder about these guys at times. So we're doing light machine guns, and we have 3 because I think we built more. Ships out, okay. Well, let's get this fully into production, and then that. And then that. Once we can. Right, so our fleet get clobbered. Looks sort of like it did. Well, if any of you can get back. Oh yeah, there's a large free flanch of 126 vessels. Yeah, it got clobbered. Okay, well, land night attack. Okay, yeah, go for it. Okay, you join them. Now we at least have a fleet up there. Oh, could have forgot about all this while watching the exciting, at least I thought it was exciting, invasion of, or battle of this Indian Ocean, or no, Red Sea battle, that's right. Let's all light cruisers. There we go. We'll build up our navy here, and maybe dash it out to the Indian Ocean to join the others. Don't know what Italy will do. You guys can join that. Taking out the last. And there we go. Okay, well you guys come down to Freetown. You come up to here. You come up to there. Now, looks like the Portuguese are trying to go after the Turks. Okay, we also sent these forces here. You go around that way, cut them off from their capital. The Japanese have landed. How interesting. How are they repairing? Well, somewhat. $19.17, okay. Okay, you just got, they got reinforcements. And so, oh, you're not at the port. I thought you were at the port. You can come over to your port here, but we want to keep somebody here. Oh, we have free factories. Okay. Let's see. We want to build a couple of more of these guys. There we go. And then we want to build more shipyards. So you stop as well. You withdraw to there, and now we're also facing the British. The Japanese have left. Left us the British. Didn't move fast enough. Okay, let's go patrolling. Yes, okay, I want to report that because I want to come out here. And then I want to launch you. Go. Before they have time to react. Delete all orders, yes. You go back. Get repaired. And back to you guys. Here, okay. And let's send them down just to clean this up. There we go. Now, support the whites in the Finnish Civil War. That could be a good idea. Let's see, what are we looking at? Non-addressed impact, okay. Don't know that we need to do that. Send Zimmerman telegram, try to get the United States not in a civil war. Mexico exists. Fight Sweden into the Central Powers. Just the Zimmerman telegram could have a really, we want to get that, so it could really have a backfire effect, at least it did when the British sort of released it out. Okay, well you three attack there now. That was sort of the idea, was to coordinate. Oh, let's see what we can do to improve things here. Popular figurehead helps stability, okay. Japan has cancelled it's called it into our oh well, that's now changed things. Okay, cancel all of your plans. Actually, just go into Italy here, guys. Oh, you guys, and you march. You guys get on the railway. Get Ludendorff. Go for the offensive here. Good thing that we were supporting our friends the Austrians here. I hit them before they can get well organized. guys off. Oh, sorry. And we have the ability to produce more. What do we need more, if anything? Port equipment still. Okay. First I want to do 2 more of tanks. Then we'll see about some more support equipment. Oh. Boy. I am sure forgetting things, aren't I, guys? Get on rails, get down here fast. You start marching for Tripoli. Well, you hold there for the moment. We've lost those French colonies. You start marching up that way. I'll get on the train and go. Maybe the Belgians will stay neutral. Getting about the Italian colonies, but they're going to go down. Alright, well, let me send us a division. Let's send up not too many of these guys, I'm afraid we'll see another mountain divisions would be nice. All right, well, this just got rather interesting. Oh, we're okay. But we're going to continue this next episode. I want to thank you for watching. I want to thank you for liking the video. And of course, please post questions, comments, suggestions, ideas, corrections. See you next time for more Hearts of Iron.